Hi there, my name is James Thompson and I am the Education Coordinator for the Muncie Symphony Orchestra. Today I would like to read you guys a story called Never Play Music Right Next to the Zoo. How many of you like going to the zoo? And how many of you like going to concerts? I know I certainly like to do both those things and definitely miss going to both those things in person right now. So in lieu of that, we will have a story today that combines both those things together. Now, the best thing about the zoo is all the animals, right? Well, we're going to see a lot of animals in this story, but we're also going to see a lot of instruments. And a really interesting thing about instruments is that sometimes composers like to make instruments sound kind of like animals in their music. And so they'll pick different instruments to represent different animals. Now maybe some of you saw the video I did a while ago about this instrument. This is the instrument I play. Does anyone know what this instrument is called? If you said the flute, you are right. So let me play just a little bit for you, and I want you to think about what animal could this flute sound like. Any ideas? What animal does the flute sound most like? I would say the flute sounds most like a bird, and composers, when they're writing music, if they want to make the music sound like birds chirping and singing, they will often use the flute. So let me demonstrate that again. And so the way that I am making those kind of bird-like sounds on the flute is by taking one of my fingers and wiggling it really fast up and down on the keys while I'm playing. So we're going to have a special part that we're going to all play together during the story, because you're going to practice making your little bird finger wiggle like that. So try that with me. Can you wiggle your finger up and down as fast as I can? Keep doing that while I do that on the flute. Can you see my finger wiggle? All right. So as we go through our story today, we're going to keep an eye out, and anytime we see a flute pictured in the story, I'm going to play my little bird sound, and I want you guys to wiggle your finger along with me. So you're going to help me look for the flutes in our story. So let's get started. I went to a concert when I was a lad, no older than many of you. I sat with my sister, my brother, my mother, my dad, at a bandshell right next to the zoo. The soft summer air was so balmy and sweet, and the program was running so long that I found myself falling asleep in my seat, despite all the music and song. All at once, the conductor erupted with rage. A band of wild animals was storming the stage. Oh, children, remember, whatever you may do, never play music right next to the zoo. They'll burst from their cages, each beast and each bird, desperate to play all the music they've heard. The lions and the elephants, the bears and the raccoons will steal away the trumpets, the flutes, and bassoons. And there's a flute. So remember what to do? See if you can wiggle your finger as fast as me. Very good. replace the musicians and chase them away, then they'll sit in the band shell and play. Look really closely right here. You see the flute there? Here we go again. The monkeys played fiddle. The bison played bass. The percussions were manned by the camel. The yak had chosen the sax to play until red in the face, a surprisingly musical mammal. The bonobo played oboe. The ferret, the flute. The jackal attacked the bassoon. We have a flute again. The hippo had chosen the tuba to toot by the light of the silvery moon. Siberian tigers, Mongolian goats, a superabundance of bestial notes. As the animal orchestra filled up the air with chaos, confusion, and clatter, the audience calmly continued to stare as if nothing at all was the matter. I trembled with terror, suppressing a scream, while my parents just sat there enraptured. Oh, how I wished it was only a dream, and all those creatures all safely recaptured. But since by the minute I'd grown less afraid, I decided to sit back and watch while they played. Look at all those animals there. Anyone see a flute again? It's hard to see, but there's a flute right there. They finished, and each put his instrument down, then bowed and descended the stage. Each shed his tuxedo or evening gown and hurried back home to his cage. Then each reminisced, so grateful and glad, so full of contentment and pride. My mother, meanwhile, strolled away with my dad, but my sister remained by my side. Can anyone see a flute here? We've got one right there. She tugged on my sweater and spoke in my ear, "You better wake up or we're leaving you here." Oh, children, remember, whatever you may do, never play music right next to the zoo. They'll burst from their cages, each beast and each bird, desperate to play all the music they've heard. No, never play music right next to the zoo, and pay strict attention to rule number 2. Bear it in mind for the rest of your days. Don't fall asleep when an orchestra plays. The end. I hope you enjoyed this story today about music, and all of us here at the Muncie Symphony Orchestra hope that all of you are staying well, staying healthy, and starting to enjoy the end of the school year and the beginning of summer. See you next time.